Okay, this is my father, Roy S. Rymill, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the Czechoslovakian incident that he witnessed in the 1960s. Go ahead, Dad.
Czechoslovakia in 1968, that's when the Russian military moved into German border between Germany and Czechoslovakia. At that time, I was a non-commissioned officer. I was an NCO with, most NCOs has vast experience in actual combat. I had just got out of George Patton Senior NCO Academy in Bad Tölz, Germany. The purpose of this academy was to pick battlefield commanders from the NCO ranks, which were when the officers' ranks was in dire situations. The situation starts with the incident in a local German bar in which an American soldier was buying drinks for a German national girl. When he got up to get more drinks, some German gentlemen come in and sit down at the table, and that's when the altercation started. Result is that he went back to the M60 tank park, picked up his M60 tank, drove it down to the bar and pushed the 105 barrel right through the front door of the bar, and he locked it loaded a 105 caliber artillery piece. The situation was resolved by him by talking to him, and finally he sobered up and the situation resolved. However, the Army command response was to no longer put ammunition stored in the tanks or tracked vehicles. Now the situation came down in the middle of the night. An alert came out regarding the Russian move to the Czechoslovakian border, bordering Germany. My unit was ordered to the front line to check the border, facing the Russian tanks, and which were about 200 to 300 yards away. I had placed my troops in a natural defense position under George Patton's rule called hull defilant position. That is, you have your tanks hidden from the enemy, generally by a natural earth barrier. Situation that was next developed is that a Jeep drove up the hill, seeing our positions from the backside, and went over the hill about 50 yards and stopped. The driver and his two passengers got out of the vehicle and were talking, and then they start pointing out our position. At that time, I had to go down to stop this situation. In a language not repeatable, I challenged them. Then they all turned around in total surprise. I immediately took the offensive. When the last man turned around, however, I started counting stars on his head, and I saw 1, 2, 3, 4 stars. And that means he's in charge of the whole the whole American Army in Europe. The second officer was a lieutenant colonel and was his aide, and he got very aggressive and wanted to pursue disrespect of an officer for what I had just said. The general interceded and asked calmly what my concerns were. I told him that, number one, his headquarters had removed all ammo from our tracks. Number two, we have moved to a different alert position, and the ammunition had not got to us, so apparently lost in transit because of the change of location. Number three, those reflections he saw about 200 yards away were binoculars that used by Russian tank commanders sitting on top of their tanks. And I don't believe we started seeing a whole bunch of them show up, and I don't believe they was of a 4 caliber was down on the front line. And I told him this could be interpreted as possibly the spearhead from which the attack will be generated. Number five, they saw you point out our positions, which puts us in a very vulnerable situation. Number six, we don't even have light ammunition to propel this attack. And number seven, you will see us in France because we can't defend ourselves. General ran back to his Jeep, and the Jeep started taking off, almost leaving the lieutenant colonel behind, and the general says, if you want to go, you get in now or stay here. The result of this whole thing was no action taken against me, and I saw about a week or two later, the general was relieved from his command. And I imagine that all resulted from the fact that we were not prepared for that attack. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dad.
Could believe that a German
Shiver me timbers. Make 'em reboot.